Just silent.
Hi all. We are here today with Pratik Vanshali, and he is the designated partner of Shavtara Constructions and Warehousing LLP, and we are here for his interview.
So my first question is, you had such a stellar career, right? So can you talk about the journey in Shavtara Construction?
I did my schooling from Bishop College. I'm basically from Bangalore, and a proud Kannadiga. And after that, I did mechanical engineering from there in Summer. Wrote CAT, missed out on the IIMs by 1.5%. So by default, did my MBA from Christ University. And went to work in the morning, took placement, quit, came back in the evening. And the next morning, I joined my father's business. He was into trading and small-scale manufacturing of polymer products. And 6 months I worked with my father. And after that, I started the company called Vimal Corporation, which is again my father's name. And we started manufacturing PP strapping, BOPP tapes, and plastic twine. These are all secondary packaging products which are used to seal carton boxes. So this was back in 2011. And since then, every 2 years we kept adding capacity, keep putting up a new plant every 2.5 years. So today, as we speak, we are one of South India's largest producers of the product. We've got clients in over 20 states, Indian states. Most of our sales come from southern states, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. And then from Maharashtra, Gujarat and Central India. And in 2016-17, we started developing some warehousing on industrial plots. So that was an individual name, and then we realized that we need to get into new domains. Cannot have only one business, so wanted to get into a new vertical. So in 2018, we started the company called Shavtara Constructions and Warehousing. Under Shavtara, we develop and design small industrial parks, and we make customized mega factories for clients. So clients have got three options. They can either rent out a customized building, or they can buy out a customized factory, or they can even buy an industrial plot from us on which they can build their factory. So as of now, we're doing a lot of work for Kanti Suites Private Limited. We've already handed over one building, and 2 mega factories are under construction. So it's pretty complicated. It looks easy. The sweets look very good and tasty, but there's a lot of hard work that goes into the sweets. Because it's a food product, you have to be very careful about every small detail. The temperature, the climate control of the factory, the water that is being used, recycling of the water, making sure that because of pollution norms and environment norms, you don't waste water. And the sweet products do not have to be hand touched. The machinery has to be automated. And there are lots of other food norms, which it's just after medicine and pharma, food is the second most complicated industry, because you consume it, so everything has to be perfect. A lot of responsibility. So we are designing and developing their factories, and this is about the journey. And apart from that, I'm also an equity investor. I'm an investor, not a trader. No. If somebody gives me crypto for free, also I will not take it, because I believe wealth is generated slow, steady, organically over a period of time. So I'm very conventional in my business process. Overnight success, I don't understand what overnight success is. So the favorite quote is, Rome was not built in a day, but Hiroshima was destroyed in a few hours. So slow, steady, organically, we are doing a bit to build India stronger.
Yeah.
That's the dream. Yes.
So you were not basically interested in a 9-to-5 job, right? So yeah. So after MBA, you had a startup idea, or how you go?
Yeah. See, I'm basically from an industrial family. My 3 generations have been industrialists. So I may sound little, I don't want to sound rude, but it's a reality. We cannot take orders. Someone cannot tell us what to do. So that spirit of entrepreneurship or developing something new, being in control of what you're doing, has always been there.
Entrepreneur-led.
You can say genes, DNA, or even blood, spirit, anything. That's basically how it started off. So the first idea was to be your own boss. The second idea was, okay, you want to be your own boss, but what will you do? You didn't know. So since we were already in the polymer space, about 1.5 year during last year of engineering and first 2 years of MBA, we were doing a lot of research on demand and supply of various packaging products. And then we realized that strapping, PP strapping, BOPP tape, etc., most of the product that is sold in Karnataka comes from Gujarat and Maharashtra. So there are very few local industries manufacturing these products in Karnataka. So what we realized is there's a demand, but the supply is being fulfilled by manufacturers in Gujarat and Maharashtra. So it's a kind of a space where you can plug.
Yeah.
So we started off with one manufacturing plant. We put up Karnataka's first fully automated strapping line in 2011. Yeah, for which my mother, my father, and the banks, three of them funded. I took loans from them, and since then God has been kind. The journey has been it's been a memorable journey.
So, in which year you started?
Women Corporation was started in 2011.
2011.
Manufacturing started in 2011, October, October, November.
So, can you talk about your business model, sir?
Of Shavtara.
Shivtara Constructions, okay.
Hereafter, whatever is coming is for Shavtara.
Right, sure. See, I'm not a very keen believer of taking a lot of debt. I'm not an economics student. I don't have an official economic degree, but I'm a very keen observer of economics, global economics, domestic economics, personal economics. So I love to read balance sheets, and that's how I got into equity investment also. Once I started making some money, not early, just last 2-3 years. So as students, I'll always tell everybody, because it's important to inspire students. You're the future of the country. So it's always important to let you know what the real picture is. Don't think or don't dream of being millionaires and billionaires overnight. Nothing like that exists. And there is no substitute to hard work. Doing it every day, day after day, month after month. You know, if someone tells you some magic is going to happen and you're going to become rich, don't fall to that. So, second, debt. As far as business is concerned, debt is because we had COVID for 2.5 years. Nobody expected, and it was all of a sudden out of the blue, and nobody knew what to do. And we didn't know when it's going to end.
Yeah.
The first wave, and then people thought everything's okay. We started having fun, and all of a sudden the second wave. So during such period, if you have a lot of debt, you have to pay your EMIs and the bank interest every month on a monthly basis. So your revenues are kind of blocked because COVID. Your sales come down. It's natural. Lots of entertainment industry, the hotel industry, lots of things are not functioning. So the revenues are not as per normal times. But then your the interest calculation is on. You keep paying interest every 30th of every month. You get an SMS saying this much, so many lakhs has been debited. It's an auto message. So it's important to stay in control of your debt. Just let me pause and.
How do you face your competitors?
There are two things. One is if you keep thinking about your competition, that's one thing. There are two types of people generally, I believe in. One person is always looking at what the other person is doing. Even in life, if you're a student, one student is always going to be focused on what she is doing or what he is doing. That's one way to approach life. The other way is that you're really passionate about what you're doing. You love what you're doing. And then competition really does not matter because you're so evolved, you're so involved in what you're doing. You want to improvise, you want to make things better. As far as construction is concerned, you want to use better technologies. You want to make sure that your building is more efficient. If it's climate control, you want to see what is the best climate control, temperature control mechanism that's available. If it's a cold storage, you have to see how the walls are insulated, how we can use a lot of green energy, how we can use solar energy, how we can not waste water. So the factories that we are making now are green factories. We don't waste a single drop of water. We recycle the entire water, even if it is 10,000 liters a day. And then you have rainwater harvesting systems where that water is given back to the earth. We have these mechanisms and these boards where the water, all the rainwater harvest is collected, filtered, and goes back to the natural collection of the earth below the ground. So I'm involved in all these things, and so really no time to think about competition. We are happy doing what we're doing. And we don't want to grow overnight. I don't want to become a Ambani or a Tata or a Adani. With due respect to everybody, it's okay, but we are in a happy space and we are happy to grow at 10, 12, 15% a year.
Exactly.
That's sufficient.
Okay, sir. So how you keep your market share stable?
Market share stable. See, we do 2 projects at a time. The construction company, we're doing two buildings at a time. So the reason for doing only 2 buildings at a time is, I personally feel it is more controlled. We can focus personal time, energy devoted to those buildings, and then as soon as these 2 buildings reach the completion site, we again start off with 2 more buildings.
Oh.
So as now as we speak, we've got projects, we've got orders for next 7 buildings in the pipeline. So I think till 2025-26 we've got work in hand. That's 2 buildings a year.
Yeah, that's okay.
And by then 3-4 years I think we'll get another 5 or 7 buildings.
So all are mega factories.
Yeah, I call them mega factories, small factories. Everything's about 20, 30, 40,000 square feet, with say 200 to 300 laborers working.
All are in Karnataka.
Everything in Bangalore. Yes. No, that's how it is.
Okay. So how you manage your funding? You said at a time you have 2 projects, so it's a lot.
Okay. The day COVID started, I'll just share a small story, a true story.
Yeah.
Okay. The day COVID started, we had about 13 crores of debt. 13 crores.
Oh.
Debt is
Debt.
like a bank loan.
Okay.
You can call them bank loan or OD facility, which the bank gives you, and they charge interest for it. So all of a sudden we saw that the business is coming down, revenues are coming down,
Yeah.
but 9 lakh, 10 lakh rupees interest is going every month. For 13 crores you pay about 9.5 lakh rupees interest. It was about 8.5% then,
Shocked.
because the repo rates were less, and but that's a very small figure.
It was like
Looking at Indian economy, it's only a drop in the
So in
ocean.
2018 when Corona came, you had the debt or what happened?
I had no, not like that. Overall, general running business, this was our debt ratio.
Okay.
No, but against that we had given bank 20 crore worth of land. So it's all covered debt. It's all collateral debt. And then COVID gave us a lot of time to think, because you had nothing to do. You had nowhere to go. So lots of people started thinking about lots of things. So we also started thinking about our business model.
Okay.
And so we decided that in 24 months, we are going to become zero debt. We're going to clear off all our loans, all our bank ODs, everything. So we started taking steps like whatever income we were getting from our warehouse, proceeds from whatever warehouse we sold, and even the polymer business income that was generated. We started cutting our costs. Even 5 lakh, 10 lakh rupees a month becomes 1 crore a year.
Okay.
So it's not that, all big things fundamentally has to happen with smaller things. You keep doing the smaller things right, the big larger picture takes care of itself. So the target was 24 months, and in about 24-25 months, last March, we became debt free.
Nice.
So we had zero debt. The bank is the same. The bank manager is the same. We were giving them interest. Now we have a particular amount of FD in the bank, so they give us interest.
Okay.
So the relationship is the same.
Yeah.
They used to serve coffee to us, now I serve coffee to them. That's how it is. And it gives you a lot of advantage in terms of it makes you a little light. It also gives you freedom to experiment other things, because at the back of the mind you know that it's your money. You don't have to. You've not taken any loan, so you don't have that pressure on you that I have to generate this money in this time and give it back. So it gives you a lot of freedom to do things little innovatively.
Yeah.
So that's something we've experienced now, and we've taken a conscious decision, personally at least, that I'm not going to take any loan from anybody in this life again. I don't want to pay interest. So we may go a little slow, but we are going to go with our own capital.
Exactly. So currently you are working on some sweet factory, right?
Kanti Sweets Private Limited. We are making 2 mega factories.
Alright, can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah.
Like how you got that project?
Yes, yes.
And your networking.
Okay. This was about in 2018-19. We were making a warehouse in Tadvikar industrial area. Kanti Sweets already got a factory there in that area. They have a good established factory there. So one day, one afternoon, I gone to the warehouse, just visiting the site, and all of a sudden I see a gentleman just walk into the warehouse.
Oh.
I didn't know him. And I'm an extrovert. Even if in the airport, if somebody is sitting and I wish to go speak to him or her, I actually just go and say, "Hi, my name is Pratik. How are you?" And 9 out of 10 times they reply.
No.
Some odd person does not reply.
Till now we understood that particular thing
Right.
perfectly.
It's important to communicate. Human being is a social. It's very important to speak to people. What people will think. Should I go? Should I not go?
Yeah.
Let people think what they have to think. Why are you thinking what people will think?
Exactly. Yeah. You're
They
very
may
right.
either speak to you, they may not speak to you.
Yeah.
If they don't speak to you, that does not mean you're insulted. It only means that the person, he or she, does not wish to speak to you at that moment. Maybe after 2 days they'll speak to you. Right? So that's the only, that fear has to come out. So he just randomly walked in and he was looking at the warehouse. I said hello, and greetings were exchanged. And then he said, "Hi, I'm Shailendra Sharma, chairman of Kanti Sweets Private Limited."
Oh.
I said, "Really?" He said, "No, really." Because he was only 44, 45 years old then, 43 I think.
Okay.
No, 42 years old. Yeah, he's 45 now. Now he's like an elder brother. So that was our first meeting, I still remember that. And he liked the place and he said, "We want to rent it out. We are expanding and because it's very close to our factory." So our relations started off there. Then the first meeting, I remember he called me to Sheraton, Yashwanthpur. Generally he does all his meetings in Sheraton in the lobby. Had lots of black coffee and meetings going on. So he called me there and I went for the meeting. Lasted for about 1.5 hours. And trust me, we spoke business and mathematics and money only for 5 minutes.
Okay.
For the remaining 1 hour 25 minutes, we were discussing life, philosophy of life, Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana. No, actually, what Krishna ji told Arjun in the Bhagavad Gita, how life should be lived, how it is important to keep doing the right things even when nobody is watching. This is something I've learned from him. He said, "You do the right things when people are watching is okay, but keep doing the right things honestly even when nobody is watching." Because at the end of the day, whatever good you're doing is going into your karma account. I'm very spiritual. I think everything happens for a reason. So it's important to keep building your karma. And then results will automatically come. You don't have to run behind the results. So that was our first interaction. And if I may call him my elder brother now, I think he'll not mind because he keeps calling me a younger brother. So now we've doing 1, 2, 3, 4 projects for him, and I think we've got another 3 in the pipeline.
Okay.
So that's how our relation started.
Okay. So how is your marketing strategy? Whether the companies come to you or you go after the company? The construction business, what happens is when you're in a polymer company, Dimel Corporation, you've got about 1,200 clients in India. Some of our clients include Ashirwad Pipes Private Limited, Myco Bosch, Moksha Agarbatti, Rangarao, Cycle Brand, and Biocon. Lots of these companies, we do branding on the strapping for them. So the polymer business, you have to go to clients. Okay.
So we've got a marketing team. We've got a gentleman called Mohinder Singh. I met him on the first day of Christ MBA. He was my best friend there, and since then he's been working with us. So the friendship has lasted 14 years. Yeah. So he takes care of all the marketing, corporate marketing, and wherever he's stuck up, he would get back to me, and we have a very good understanding. I think by now he understands me more than my family does, because we've been together for almost 14-15 years. So we have a systematic, you do telecalling, you have industrial trade fairs where people visit you, you exchange visiting cards, and then you take an appointment, you go meet them, show them your product, and tell them why using your product will help them improve their packaging, maybe reduce their cost. See, why will somebody buy your product? Unless your product is reducing your cost, unless it's giving you some value addition or solving some problem which the other product is not doing. Maybe your delivery is faster, maybe your quality is better,
maybe your overall experience is better. Unless you do all this, the client is not going to buy your product. He's not your relative.
Yes.
So you have to give him some advantage which he's not getting from the other product maybe.
Yes.
So that's how we do it in the polymer business. And construction, as I said, the work speaks for itself.
Yeah.
So people know that we are a social circle everywhere. They know we are into construction. We do mega factories. Federation of Indian Industries has the Bangalore president. It's a business platform, just like the FICCI. So I had the Bangalore chapter. So yeah, people get to know and then they reach out to you.
Okay.
that
So you lease your land for construction?
We've got a small industrial plot in Bangalore, South Andhra, where we can build about 30-40 mega factories like a mini park. So as of now, we are doing all the projects there.
This video is about the business problems which are being faced in the Shatara constructions, and two particular problems will be spoken as a discussion.
Sir, can you tell about the problems that you face in the construction of mega factories, like internal problems and external problems? What are the problems you face?
See, one external problem would be the price of raw materials.
Yes.
Basically, into construction, the major component is steel and cement.
Yes.
Even in PEB, pre-engineered buildings, there's a lot of steel used.
Yes.
And for everything else, there's cement. The concrete blocks, everything is made up of cement. So availability is not a problem. You get material. You get material throughout the year. India, we've advanced to a very beautiful stage where every district, even to the last remote place, we have availability of material. So our country infrastructure, the roads and the railways mechanism, everything is perfect. There is scope for improvement. That's a different thing. But I always say, ask what you're doing for India, not what India is doing for you. The government, everybody, they're doing fantastic job. You just look at our neighbors. Look at Sri Lanka. I'm just deviating from the topic. Look at Sri Lanka because you're students. Look at Bangladesh. Look at Pakistan. Look at Afghanistan. I mean, can any parameter are they on comparison with India? Nowhere. Country like Nepal, if you have to have an open heart surgery, you have to fly down to Delhi to Dr. Theran or to Bangalore to Dr. Devi Shetty. You don't have a facility where you can peacefully get or you can with a you can be confident and you can get a bypass surgery done. So India is doing pretty well, and trust me, the next 30-40 years is going to be absolutely Indian story across the world. The West, Europe, US, down Latin America, Middle East, everywhere, people are going to do well, but India is going to be the pioneer of growth over the next 30-40 years. This also makes me very exciting to be an equity investor at the right time. So 20-30 years from today, maybe I could share with people that to be successful, it's important to have the right temperament, but it's also important to be at the right place at the right time. That gives an advantage. So I think we are living in pretty exciting times. Yeah, back to your question. External challenges. One is the raw material prices. Now everything is geopolitically managed, and we are living in a global world. One Ukraine-Russia conflict, and the raw material prices of rubber, steel, plastic, everything shot up by 30, 40, 50, 70, 100, 150, 200%. Now all of a sudden, you're not so prepared to absorb those prices. Your projects are midway. You buy steel only for 1 month, 2 months, as per your batch that is required. You can't buy 2,000, 5,000 bags of cement and store. There's a shelf life, it becomes hard, you can't use it. So all of a sudden you see that you had estimated a particular cost, say 100 rupees, and your raw material and construction labor, everything put together would be say about 75, 80 rupees, you would make 20 rupees profit. And now you're seeing that your raw material cost for that 100 rupees project has become 150. Then when you speak to the client, generally the client says no, the prices are fixed. But then most of our clients are, they understand, because this is something that has happened in the reality. It's not that I'm making up prices. Steel has shot up from 40, 50 rupees to 70, 80, 90, 100 rupees. Cement has shot up. Other costs have shot up. So you have to politely sit down with the client and explain to him very candidly and to the point that, sir, this was the price on this day, this is the price today. Now, if there was a difference of 5-10%, we would have taken, we would have absorbed the rate difference. But when there's a difference of say 50%, when our margin itself is 10-15%, how do we take it? So the only way out, not not complicating it, only way out is to sit down with your client, explain to him everything, and he has to understand. So we were fortunate, all our clients understood and they gave us the price difference. So we did not burn our fingers there, and I think that is how it should be. So this in the construction business, maintaining your external the raw material prices, which is not in your control, is a major factor. Second, internal factors. When you make a factory, when you construct a mega factory, I'll just share the number of teams that are working on it. There's the PEB fabrication team, which does all the fabrication. Then there's the PEB erection team. There's a civil team which does all the civil work. Then you have the centering team, the molding team which puts the RCC concrete. You have the plumbers, electricians, welders, painters. Then you have the entire ducting team, because if it's a food factory you need to have ducts. There's an STP team, ETP team. There's a firefighting team. There's a team that does all the rolling shutters and everything. And then there's a team which does the VDF flooring. There's a granite team. There's a tile team which does the tile foundation and everything. Am I missing out on something? Then so there's basically 15 to 20 different teams that work. And you have to have human relations with them. It is not like a robo that everything is computerized, and so you need to have very good people skills. Tomorrow is a concrete, the weather forecast says everything is okay. All of a sudden tomorrow at 11 o'clock you see there is heavy rain in Bangalore. Because Bengaluru, we are very famous for our rains. Even the climate control does not know when the rain is going to start and stop. So you need to have good people skills. The labor, we are sitting in a comfortable office. The building is being built by laborers in the day, in the night, in sun, heat, rain, storm, summer, winter. And what does he get? He gets 800-900,000 rupees a day. So it's important to understand that it's the labor who's working on ground, working hard. So you need to have a human approach. We very proudly say that we pay the school fees of all the children of our laborers, even at the construction site. And we take care of their hospital medical expenses, and everybody's insured. So these are things which the government does tell us to do, ESI and things like that. But apart from that, we go maybe 1 or 2 steps ahead, because this is a part of inclusive growth. If I am growing alone, the growth is mine. I am of no use to the society. My growth has to be inclusive, and people around me need to grow. Need to grow in terms of having better education, better healthcare facilities, better standard of life, better travel, better food. So everybody needs to grow. That's beautiful. That's how the country grows, and that's how growth should happen. This is a very strong belief that I believe in. So these are the 2 challenges.